at the WWE 2K17 Supercard Suplex City. We have so much cool stuff going on. We even have some of my favorite YouTubers over here. We have Willpower coming on over here.
How's it going?
I got the lapel going.
Oh, you got the mic.
Because I had to do it that way.
Yeah.
Willpower, we got Michelle, we got Dank, we got Lauren.
You didn't see me?
I just lapelled myself up.
How you doing?
Quick, so.
Tony Pizza.
So what is your first impressions of Suplex City?
Bro, this is like a legitimately cool setup. This is really awesome. I was surprised, like they got the cop car, they got the lights, they got the whole thing. I'm very impressed with 2K. Like good for you guys. This is really good.
Cool.
It's a solid setup.
It's like a virtual Suplex City out here.
It is. It's a solid setup.
I will tell you though, there's actually beer in the back of that cop car.
There's beer. It's about to be a long night.
Don't forget the pillows.
Don't forget the what?
The pillow.
Oh, I know, bro. If like we need to grab them now.
No,
So
Lauren, we got seats over there. Lauren has like a bunch of stuff. We already got like 3 pillows.
I'm taking pillows. I'm taking pieces of. I just like taking things. So I'm gonna take whatever I possibly
So you're
can.
a klepto.
Sure, let's go with that. Let's go with that. Oh man, it's gonna be a fun night.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be a fun night.
Got a big question for you. Can you unblock me on Twitter, please?
Depends. I don't know why I blocked you for in the first place.
Again, but I would love to see him up here on SmackDown. Having him part of the roster would be great. Hey, can we turn the music up just a little bit louder? Jeez.
TonyPizzaGuy here with the executive producer, Mark Little. So we have WWE 2K17, and there's a lot of new additions. I haven't got to play it yet, but I figured I'd interview you before then so I can get kind of hyped and ready to play it. But we're here at Suplex City. Now I have to say this is a gorgeous Suplex City, and that's a big theme for the game. Is this kind of theme going to play into the game? Is there going to be like a Suplex City virtual, like walk around? I don't know if you can talk about that kind of stuff.
Well, no, I can't talk about that right now, but you know, obviously Brock Lesnar being on the cover is a huge deal for us. He's a force within the WWE, and we're super excited that he's our superstar this year.
So with Brock Lesnar, you decided not to do a showcase for him. With that, you know, that's bad news, and it's good news because it gives you the chance to work on some other things with the game. And I know that you really want to polish the game this year. What are some of your favorite additions and updates that you're doing this year?
Well, you know, I think that there's a lot. You know, as a fan of the game myself, it's hard to pick a few, but some of the things that I know watching other people play for the first time that they really react to is the backstage brawling. People really are enjoying that. It's a different pace of play in the backstage. It's a little bit more brutal. There's lots of weapons and environmental things you can interact with. So it just adds a new dimension to the gameplay to, you know, allow people to enjoy the title another way.
And that's been a big community request. I'm sure you've heard it for years and years and years. One of the other things that I've seen that you're working on is the ladder match physics.
Yeah.
How is that something that you're constantly trying to improve? I know that it's you're trying to make it more smooth, right? Is that the way you're doing it?
Well, I mean, for us, we wanted it to both be more smooth and a little easier for the players to interact with. So a lot of the complaints we got back from the community is that it's hard to use some of the ladder spots. It's hard to set them up. So we completely reshot all the ladder animations. We remocapped everything, changed the physics on the ladders, built new ladder models, and really rethought both the mechanics and the gameplay around how ladders work so that people can have that experience they're trying to have. There's nothing makes me sadder than watching people struggle to have fun with the game, and ladders were a spot that you'd see people struggle, but this year you're seeing people be able to do interesting and fun spots right out of the gate, so that's something that's important.
Another thing that you added the button mashing back into I think it was submissions, right? So you can either choose.
Yep.
Are you able to choose, like, if I want to button mash and my friend wants to do the other style, or do you both have to do button mash?
You have to agree. So the two of you are going to have to come to consensus. And online we'll have the system we released last year because it is the more challenging and the less cheat prone type of system. So there's a lot of ways people get around the button mashing online. So we're going to use the other system for online. It's definitely a little more challenging, but we didn't just bring back the breaking point system of old. The system we have is a new design of a button mashing system. It's a little bit more challenging and satisfying. So we think people will like it.
So this year, out of the roster, we have one of the largest. I think is it the largest roster ever? You keep saying that every year, and you're upping yourself every year. But who's your most favorite to play? Who's the most fun to play with?
That is so hard to pick. I mean, this year we've added so much new talent. AJ Styles has been added to the roster this year. He has a different style of play, and we were lucky to mocap all of his moves. And Shinsuke Nakamura is in the game this year. But then on top of that, I have my perennial favorites. Like, I'm a big Bret Hart fan, so I love getting out there with Bret Hart and watching people tap. So
at this point in the trip, I actually went off to play WWE 2K17. I wasn't able to record any footage, but I did have some notes that I wrote down and some of the things that I really want to talk about for this. So if you guys want to know some information, this is the part of the video where I'm going to tell you about WWE 2K17 and my impressions of the game. So the superstars that were in the game that we're able to play as was AJ Styles, Del Rio, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Rollins, Ambrose, and DLC Nakamura. They had one-on-one, backstage, triple threat, and a fatal four-way ladder match. Now, I actually got to play with CM Pulse, and we played for, I'd say, probably a good half an hour to an hour. Can't remember how long we played, but we actually went through a lot of different modes and tried to figure out what the new features were and the new things that we noticed from the game. So first off, right when you get into a match, it'll show the matchup screen, and the matchup screen actually has commentary on it now, which is a nice little feature. So you have commentary on that, and you'll have commentary when they enter to the ring, so it's very, very fun just to have them have commentary and make it seem a little bit more realistic like the WWE television. Now, when you're in the match, you'll notice that the OMG moment is no longer just pressing triangle. You actually have to press R1 in triangle. It's cool because some of the times you were stuck on doing an OMG moment when you really wanted to do a finisher. So now if there's a move that's a finisher and an OMG moment in the same place, you can actually do it right off the bat with R1 and triangle. You can hit the OMG moment or just hit triangle and you can do the finisher. So that's pretty cool. The first thing we played as was just AJ Styles and Finn Balor. And I will say this because CM Pulse pointed out, I'm not a detail guy, so I don't notice all the details, but he had said that AJ Styles' entrance did not look mocap, and it looked like they just put it in the game, and they didn't have it realistic, because I wasn't paying attention to it, but he is huge detail-oriented when it comes to that. So, the triple threat match. This is what I was most concerned about, was the rollout feature. And I'm going to be completely honest here because 2K wants me to be honest. I want to be honest with you guys, and I will just say this right away. I did not like the rollout feature of the game. I think that it's cool that you can roll out and it'll turn into a one-on-one match. That is fine, right? I'm okay with that, but the problem is that it takes too long for you to get up. You have to wait to build up, and then when it does finally build up, you can get up. But I didn't ever think that. Let me just put it this way. So I got rolled out, right? Another guy hit a finisher, and then he went for a pin. I did not have enough time after I was laying on the ground to get up and break up the pin, and that's the thing that really upset me. Because even though I rolled out, yeah, I get it that I rolled out, but I'd still like the option to get up and break up the pin. There just wasn't enough time. I stayed on the ground outside the ring too long. So that was the big disappointment there. But I guess it's going to make for some interesting matches, because if you can be on the outside, you can't actually break up a pin. It'll be very interesting. But I didn't think the timer was fast enough when you were outside the ring. I think you should have been able to get up faster when you're laying on the outside in a triple threat, fatal four, or whatever. But it just felt like I got rolled out, laid there. I wanted to get up and break up a pin, but I just couldn't. There just wasn't enough time. So maybe it's going to add challenge, or maybe, I don't know. But honestly, I thought it should have went a little faster so I would have time to get up and break up a pin. But that's just my opinion on that. So now let's talk about the backstage fight. Backstage fight was cool. There wasn't a lot of weapons in the backstage, but one cool feature that was really, really awesome. And I don't know if a lot of people even did it or were talking about it, but I was running backstage and I noticed, wait, what? It says press a button. So I pressed it. I can't remember what button it was. I think it was triangle. I could be wrong. I don't remember at this point. But I was running and I actually jumped off of a crate or a box that was in the hallway, and then I went up with like an axe handle. So it was really, really cool that they had that feature in. So you can run down the hallway and parkour off boxes and stuff. So that's really, really fun. There was a locker room and there was an authority room. There were briefcases in both of them, and you could do some cool OMG moments in all of them. We weren't able to go from backstage to the ring or from the ring to backstage, but I think that's just because we had this build of the game. You know, I'm sure that it's going to be improved in the main game, but that's just one of the things that we didn't have, is that ability. As far as the Fatal 4-Way ladder match goes, it wasn't as bad as I was expecting. I thought it was fine where you could place the ladders in any direction in front of any of the ropes, and you could lean them in the corners still, and you could do it in the center of the ring. It just made it for easier to get the belt, but the mini game on the belt is a little difficult because you have to have there's like a circle, right? And then you have to hit, there's like a circle with a gap. It's basically like a C. So the C rotates around this circle, and you got to have this little dot go in the circle. And when you do that, then you have one piece of the briefcase belt. Like there's like a little pie. You fill up the pie, and you can grab it. So it's a little bit difficult mini game, but it is very, very fun just to actually do that mini game. And like, because you can have the ladder exactly where you want it now, set it up in the middle of the ring, climb up, but then the mini game's kind of hard. So it's really fun, and there's a lot of added challenge now to ladder matches that weren't there before, I don't think. And just for the fact that you can have the ladder right where you want it, doesn't make it any easier to grab the belt, but it makes it better placement for you to set up some cool spots. So I wasn't able to go in the crowd on the build that I had. I don't know if there was another console, because I heard Tubby talking about it, how he could go in the crowd, but the build that I was at, I wasn't able to go into the crowd. I think they had different stations with different builds of the game, but that could just be me. What I heard from Tubby is that you can just go over to the barricade, you can climb over it, and you can get in the crowd. If you want to watch out his full video, I will link that in the description so you can check that out and learn what he had on his console and what he was able to play as. So I will say this, though, as far as WWE 2K17 is going, it is a polished build of the game that they are working to improve every year. Because I've played this game so many years, I may have forgotten some of the little things that weren't there or were there, and I kind of just enjoyed the game as it was. Like I said, backstage fights were cool, but there wasn't a lot of stuff to do backstage. It didn't feel like there was a lot of stuff to do backstage. There was a cool thing where you could jump off the boxes. There was a lot of weapons. There was some OMG moments, and that was cool. Triple Threat, the new addition this year, was the rollout, and the big thing that I said that I did not like about the Triple Threat match was that you stayed outside too long, and there was no time for you to get up and break up a pin. I don't think that I ever had an instance where I rolled to the outside, was laying there waiting for the bar to fill back up, that I could wait for it to get up to the smallest point where I could get up, and I could roll in and break up the pin. It just wasn't a thing that I thought was very well on there. The Fatal 4-Way ladder match was fine. I thought it was perfect. I think it was cool. I didn't have time to set up that OMG moment with the ladder and the spots and the pull it from under the ring, so I didn't actually have that feature there, but it's pretty cool. I will say this, Shinsuke Nakamura was a lot of fun to play as well. He was very cool. He looked pretty authentic to the Shinsuke Nakamura that you guys know, and it was just very, very fun to play as him. AJ Styles was cool too. He had the phenomenal forearm. He did a cool Styles Clash. There was a lot of cool things. I didn't really get into Del Rio too much, Owens or Rollins or Ambrose. Finn was cool to play as well, but honestly, this year's game is going to be pretty cool, and I think that, yeah, there's some things I don't like, but I think the positive is that they're actually working and improving it and making it better every year. And I'm not just going to say that this is the best build of the game, because I know there's still things that they have to add. There's things that they didn't have here, like fighting backstage from the ring to the backstage and then fighting in the crowd and all that. So there's a lot of things that can be changed and a lot of things that they're probably going to improve as the game gets closer to the final build of the game. But I will say that I enjoyed playing the game. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me on this journey. Let me know what you think of WWE 2K17, of this trip, and everything in between. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. As always, TonyPizzaGuy, frag out.